when you are a creator, one thing that you're going to struggle with is confidence. When you first start as a creator, you feel this onus, this desire to start creating. You think you have something to say, or you think you have something you want to do. You think you have something you want to bring into the world, whether it be a sculpture or a song or a stream or a picture or whatever it is. You've got this thing and you want to bring it into the world. And when you put your hands to the task, it doesn't turn out the way you want it to turn out, right? Doesn't turn out, so you're like, oh man, maybe I suck at this. Or maybe you practice and practice and practice and practice. You put out, you do it and you do it as well as you possibly can, and I like this. You send it out into the world and it doesn't get the reaction you want. All of a sudden it's like, and you feel like you just want to quit, because what's the point of creating if nobody is going to appreciate it? What's the point of creating if it just goes out into the world and has no effect? If you're on stream and you just don't know what to say, and you don't know how to make a joke, you don't know how to make a good point, you're not great at the game, and you feel like, man, if I was just more confident, if I was just more interesting, if I was more entertaining, if I was better at the game, if I was something, then if I had just some confidence in me, then it'd be interesting. People would come. But because of my lack of confidence, I spent all my time apologizing, I spent all my time worrying, I spent all my time wondering why anybody would even come into my stream, and it's distracting. I wish I had more confidence, right? Someone who is, you're a singer. Come and sing. Here's a microphone. Go up on Sunday. Go do something and then have a sing, and we want to hear you. And you're like, yes, I can sing. I love to sing. I enjoy singing, but I don't have the confidence to stand up in front of everybody and do that. I only sing for me, or I only sing a little bit on the side, or I only do it in choirs or something like that. I could never take a mic. How do you build confidence? How do you get that spark so that you feel that you can step into the situation that you feel like you'd want to do as a creator? Now, confidence is not the same as pride, right? So something Christians often do, in my experience, is they get self-confidence confused with pride. So they're like, if I'm confident in myself and I know what I'm doing, and I know that and I know I'm good at something, and I show it, then that means I'm arrogant and prideful. So what I should do is say I suck. I'm terrible at this. I shouldn't try. I shouldn't, if anybody appreciates something, I should just say, actually, it's horrible. And this is why it's horrible. You hear this sometimes with people who are cooks or people who are baking, and they will, they know they're good. They know they've got really good recipes. They know they love baking. They've been practicing. They bring it over to someone's house, and someone goes, wow, this is super good. And they go, no, it's not. No, I messed up this part, and this part could be better, and I've done it so much better before, and I think I messed up, and they start telling how much they suck, because they think that is humility. It's not. Self-confidence, saying I am good at the thing, and here's the thing that I'm good at, is not pride. What pride is saying this thing that is creating, that I have created, is purely from me. I am the one who made my own materials. I'm the one who gave me creativity. I'm the one who gave myself energy. I'm the one who educated myself. I'm the one who allowed myself to be in this situation. I deserve all of this because everything that I have put out is only me, and and anybody who thinks it's anyone else is wrong. So give me accolades, right? Whereas the person who comes out with the same way and goes, I tried my best with this thing. Here it is. I think it turned out really good. And someone goes, that is amazing. You can go, thank you. I grew up in a home where we were really good musicians or really good bakers, or I went to school for this, and I had an amazing teacher who was really able to help me. And I'm so thankful for the people who manufacture the paints and manufacture the flour. It's been so much easier because the person who put together that machine or put together that device just made my life so much better. And I stand on the shoulder of giants, and thank you most all to God who, he gave me these hands, he gave me this energy, he gave me the ability to do this. That's why it turned out so good, is because I've got so many people in my life that have helped me to do this. It looks great. It looks really good. I'm so glad you like it. And I'm so thankful for all the people that helped me, right? You don't have to poop on the thing you create to be humble. You don't have to even poop on yourself. You can say, actually, I'm really good at this, but recognize it's not because of you. It's because of the people who have poured into your life. So confidence is not the same as pride, right? Sometimes people put themselves down before anyone else can do it. Yeah, that's my experience with most people who are like this. They tend to start with apology and not even allow the other people to comment on it. Sometimes it can be that you don't quite believe it when people say that it's good. I wonder if they're just being kind to you. Yeah, that's true. That sort of lack of confidence. That's someone who basically can't believe that someone would like what they have because they see flaws, they see problems with it, they see issues with it, they see all the things that are wrong, and yet you have all these people that are going, actually, I really like it, right? A person with no self-confidence goes, they're lying. They're just being nice. They're just saying that, and I think it's terrible. There's a sort of demonic voice in your head, that voice of the enemy, that voice of people that have hurt you, people that you grew up with, maybe a critical dad or a critical teacher, whatever. You hear their voice in your head saying you're not good enough. Nobody likes what you put together. It's just not. It's not good. And regardless of how many voices come out and tell you it is, all you can hear is that person that's in your ear telling you how bad it is. However, if you have the confidence, if you recognize, like I have been practicing on this, I did do something and I put it out there. If you can say people like it and you just go, you know what? That person in the past was wrong. That person, that actually that's not true. These people aren't liars. These people aren't ones who are going to, they get nothing from telling me I have created something good and they like it. And that's okay because it allows me to say God is working through me. That's cool. So pointing out the flaws in your cooking, not believing people's compliments, those are very common things. But I would say that it's probably from a lack of self-confidence, a lack of personal confidence, a lack of believing that you are putting out something good or that you are capable of putting out something good, right? It's to say, here's the thing, I tried really hard on it, but I need to hedge my bets here. If you don't like this, don't hurt my feelings because I messed this little part up and I messed this little part up and this little part up. So if you don't like it, I can say that's why. It's not my fault. Don't hurt my feelings. I'm going to give you all the excuses, and so you can say, yeah, I agree with you. This is no good, and that way it cushions the blow, right? Because you might be so used to having people be critical of you that you end up criticizing for yourself because you don't want to get hurt anymore. It's a way to, I think, it's a way to protect yourself from being hurt. In the same way, not believing people's compliments, right, probably stems a lot from the fact that you have been told a lot of bad things about yourself, or people telling you things that are bad, or you feel like you aren't very good, maybe depression, maybe fear, maybe guilt, maybe shame, whatever, and has snuck in, and that's just sort of the cloud in which you live, and therefore, because of all these voices in your head saying that you're no good, you could be better, you're not trying hard enough. If people really knew what you were like, they would hate you. If people really saw what you thought, they would despise you. If that's the constant stream of thought in your life, guilt, shame, fear, negative thinking, reinforcement from outside, then when someone does give you a compliment, it's like throwing a marble into a pool of oil. It doesn't make an effect. You don't see it, right? That's why what we're going to talk about a little bit later is the importance of preparing yourself and connecting to God and giving yourself permission to recognize that you are a loved person, recognize you do have value, recognize you do have, God has forgiven you. You are a creature who he loves and has died for and who, quite frankly, has given you a responsibility that he didn't have to. He's given you stuff that you didn't have to because he wants you to be part of his life. That it's huge. It's a big deal when he asks you to be a creator or do something because he doesn't need you. He's choosing you, right? That's a big deal. It's hard, and I get it. Like I suffer from depression. I've been beaten up a lot. I've had a lot of people say a lot of horrible stuff to me, and it's easier to believe those things. It's easier to believe the the negative people in your life, because especially if you have those feelings about yourself, right? It's like you put something out there, YouTube or a tweet or something like that, and 500 people say how great it is, or 30 people say how great it is, or you get all these lols or whatever, and one person says a horrible thing. If that one person says the thing that you believe about yourself, secretly or otherwise, that's the only one you're going to see. That's why working through what we're doing, what we're going to talk about here, building confidence, is going to help you deflect some of that habit of just believing only the negative. Okay? I think if you hear enough that you're pretty good at that thing, you should be able to believe it. But if there's a lot more stuff in your life, and I'm going to take a little bit of a tangent. I'll go up to the side and I'll do a pastoral tangent. And that's to say this. If you have consistent sin in your life, if you have consistent disobedience and rebellion, if God has been calling you to give up a sin, give up a habit, and you continuously do it, whether you're looking at porn every other day or every other week, or you're cheating on things, or you're using your money poorly, or you have you're fudging your way through life, or you steal stuff, and if you have that guilt and shame because you are consistently sinning and you haven't asked forgiveness and you haven't repented, and all these things happen and you have that habitual sin, then it's almost it's like a hook. It's like a trailer hitch on your life that the enemy can just keep piling on, because you've given him that leverage in your heart, because he can start with you're a shameful person, right? You're doing sinful things, but he doesn't start there. He starts to wedge it, and not only are you shameful, but God doesn't like you anymore, and you're a real disappointment. And if anybody knew what you were like, they would hate you, and you are a hateful creature, and you shouldn't. Nobody would love you, and therefore you should avoid people. And if you avoid people, then you're protecting them, and you should just live in the dark. In fact, why are you even alive? And he just pushes into that crack, because you've got this guilt, shame, fear, sin that you haven't dealt with. If you deal with that, if you remove that guilt, shame, fear, sin from your life, you will have so much more confidence, because the enemy, the people who are going to be dumping on you, or the enemy who's going to be dumping into your heart, won't have that hook to hang it on, right? No, I'm forgiven. No, I gave that up. No, I asked forgiveness for that. No, I got issues, but that one God gave me victory over. This is, I stand clean before him, and therefore all of your horribleness isn't true. Right? But if you believe that first part, he's going to wedge straight in. Let's do some building confidence talk, okay? How do you build confidence in yourself? How do you create within you a confidence in your creation? Whether you are an artist, or whether you're a musician, whether you're a live streamer, whether you're a YouTuber, whether you whatever it is, how do you build confidence? I'm going to give you 10 different ways that you can do that. The first one, and again, this is not one of the 10, but it is, lack of a better term, get right with God first. You can't have confidence in yourself or anyone else or what you're doing if you're constantly living in guilt, shame, fear, anxiety, because you think God doesn't like you, because you always feel guilty and shameful, because you're always afraid of judgment, because you're always sneaking around, and you always have this stuff in the closet that you hope nobody sees. If that's how you live all the time, as a cheater, a thief, a liar, a sexual sinner, whatever it is, then you're gonna have a lack of confidence in everything, because you are trying to live in two different worlds, right? And every negative thing someone says, you will automatically believe, because it's partly true, because you're not dealing with that sin. Okay, so that's the first thing. Get right with God. That's the first thing, because if you're not, then none of this is going to matter. But what practical things can you do to build confidence in yourself? Okay, so building confidence. Number one, I would say this. The number one way you can build confidence in your life, aside from what we just said, is to be confident in your calling and your reason for creating. Okay? Know why and for whom you are creating. When you sit down to how to do this creative thing, when you stand up, when you get in front of it, when you're doing your art, when you're doing your live stream, whatever it is, if you don't know why you're doing it and for whom you're doing it, then you're going to lack a confidence, because you're like, if I fail, nobody cares. If I succeed, nobody cares. I don't know what to say. I have no focus on what I'm doing. I'm just kind of here, which means you're going to be floating 6 inches up in the air, wondering why you can't touch land. You need to have a reason for why you're creating and a target for whom you're creating, right? Is it, I'm out here to live stream for lonely people. I'm here to create art so that people can see feelings or see emotions or be inspired. I'm here to create art so people will laugh. I'm here to make a YouTube video to explain to people what, this one little fact means, or to make their life a little bit more interesting. I make music so that people can connect to God or can connect to each other, so they can dance together. Like, your reasoning for why you do what you do and for whom is going to help you build confidence. Because as soon as you're like, I do this for these people, suddenly you recognize the need and you have a goal, and that automatically begins to build confidence, because when you do that, it's going to affect those people. Okay, so that's the first one. Be confident in your reasoning calling. Second, create things in the area of your interest. Don't go force yourself into doing a bunch of popular things. Okay, if you lack confidence as a creator, it could be because you're not working in your wheelhouse. You're not doing that which you're called or equipped or designed to do. You've been pursuing popular things. You've been pursuing success, pursuing what people have told you is going to lead to success. You've been pursuing what memes, or been pursuing what the internet has said is the way to do this, so that you will grow. That is going to automatically shoot you in the foot, because you're going to find a bunch of people who do it better. You're going to find a bunch of people. You're going to have a bunch of people who you're trying to compete with, that you're not as good as them, and also you don't like what you're putting out. It might be good, but when you put it out there and somebody goes, cool art, you'll be like, yeah, but it's not what I want to even do. So create in your area of interest, even if it's really niche, even if it's really small, even if it's just something that only, like, say, Dragon Ball Z fan art. That's what I do. I love Dragon Ball Z. I love Goku. I do Dragon Ball Z fan art. That's what I love doing. Do it. And then you will have confidence as you grow, because you are, again, you know why you're doing what you're doing, and you're doing something that you love. And that's automatically going to improve your confidence. If you're a live streamer and you hate Fortnite, don't play it. If you hate streaming in the evenings, you're exhausted all the time, you're a mess all the time, don't. Create things in your area of interest. And that's okay, right? It's okay not to do these things, because when you go online and you hear all these things, how to be popular or whatever, a lot of it is sell out, do things you don't like in times you don't like for people you don't care about. And then you'll get popular, and it's like, that is miserable. You're going to feel really gross doing that. So just be brave enough to say, you know what, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in this, and this is what I want to share with the world. Okay? All right. Number 3. And that is to deep dive into that area of interest. Okay? When you find that thing that you like, whatever that area of interest is, and the thing you like, deep dive into studying that, into understanding it, into going into great detail about whatever that is. Let's say it's Dragon Ball Z fan art, right? Know Dragon Ball Z inside and out. Recognize the characters. Know who all the obscure ones are. Get to the history. Who is the artist? Who's the director? What's the background music from? All get to know. Really deep dive in that area of interest. If you play Fortnite, know the history of Fortnite. Know where it came from. Know who created it. Know where they're going. Sign up for the newsletters. Really deep dive. If you're a musician and you like jazz, go learn jazz. Go study jazz. Go to the library. Take out jazz, whatever. Go study it, because as you deep dive, even though it's in your specific area of interest, and maybe 1,000 people out of, or 1 out of 1,000 people give 2 hoots about what you're talking about, you are going to generate confidence in the thing that you love doing. So in other words, if you say you love cooking, right? You love cooking, and all you do is like, yeah, I know how to bake these cookies, I know how to create this stir fry, and I know how to do like eggs and bacon really good, and that's all you do, right? You never look into it. You never find another a recipe. You never go looking for other materials. You don't go watch cooking shows. You don't listen to cooking podcasts. You don't go and experiment with other, new ingredients. Well, you're going to get tired of what you're doing. And when anything comes up when it does to do with cooking, you're not going to know. And your confidence is going to sink. Right? It's going to be like, I didn't really study it, didn't look into that. I only do these two things. I guess I'm not really a cook. I guess I really don't like baking. I guess maybe I even shouldn't be doing that. So do things in your area of interest, but deep dive hard into those. Just nerd out as hard as you can. And then here's the number 4. Educate yourself in general knowledge. Okay? Educate yourself in general knowledge. So make a little rule that says for every 5 episodes you binge, you're going to watch a Netflix documentary. You're going to read a wiki page. You're going to go and find a historical drama. You're going to go to the library and get a book, or when you're in talking to your mechanic, or when you're in talking to the painter guy, or when you have someone into your house who has experience, ask questions of experts. I remember I was sitting in a restaurant, and I had a guy that was sitting across, and he was a missionary, but he was a missionary to the native people in the north of Ontario, right? That's real niche. So I'm like, tell me about that. And he starts talking about, like the history of it and the struggles that they've been through and the current struggles that they've had, and going back to the foundation of Canada and the documents of Confederation. And like, he just loved it. And he's dumping this stuff on me. And I was so excited to learn it. It was not applicable to me, but I loved learning it. And I've actually brought it up a few times just because now it's come up every now and again. So if you want to build confidence in yourself, confidence in your presentation, confidence in your art, confidence in whatever you're doing, especially live streaming, or especially when you're talking, when you're, doing public presentation, when you're sitting in front of people, do yourself a favor and add YouTube knowledge guide, the top 10 whatevers, or some kind of documentary, or some kind of, whatever. If you do that, okay, let me just talk about live streaming for a minute. So as a live streamer, you have a plan. Like, you go online, you're playing your whatever game, you're doing whatever thing, you're drawing your art, you're talking about whatever, you're cooking something. As you do that, if your area of knowledge is super limited, right, you're going to have, that's cool. If you're going to be deep diving on that one thing, great. But you're going to have people from all over the world coming in, talking about all kinds of stuff. And for you to be able to jet out into, hey, I just watched this documentary about, I just saw this thing, I just read this wiki on, I just saw a movie about this historical thing. Suddenly, the I don't know what to talk about, I don't know really what to say, that starts to melt down because you're filling yourself with new general knowledge about just stuff. It helps with confidence when you feel like you know some general trivia. Okay, one more. Join a guild. Join a like-minded support team. Join a peer group. If you want to build confidence, you can't do it alone. Okay? You've already talked about that. How you create this thing, whatever it is, and you do it alone, and you send it out to the world alone, and then you hope for feedback from everybody out there, and all you hear is the negative stuff. You don't see any of the positive stuff. If you're in a group of peers, like say you're in a Discord, or say you're in a guild, or say you go to a cooking class, or say you go to whatever, as you walk in there and you talk, these people all feel the same way. They're all nervous too, and they want to build your confidence. They want to encourage you, and they're going to look at it, and even if it sucks, they're going to be like, I see what you were trying to do there. I totally get it, and I was thinking about the same thing. I went through there. See, mine isn't that good either. And you can go, wow. Not only do other people struggle, but we're all struggling in this together. Their knowledge is helping me. I'm able to help them. The moment I help somebody, suddenly I feel like a superhero. Get to be part of a guild, a support team, a peer group. One of the reasons we're launching Taco is for the first one and this one. I want a bunch of people who are like-minded, supporting, loving, caring for each other in a real accountable way. And I want to train people on how to discover who they're creating for, why they're creating, and how to maximize their ability to do that. I want to help people do that. And so become part of a guild. Next thing, drink water, get some sleep before you create. Okay? How you feel when creating is going to be a big deal. So if you're always exhausted and you're not taking care of yourself, and you do it after work when you're completely pooped out, or you're trying to do it early in the morning when you hate being awake, or you just you just don't eat right or exercise or go for walks or any of that stuff, you never drink any water, you're not going to create well. You're going to be miserable while you do it. You're not going to be able to follow through. You're going to get a good idea, and you'll be like, I'm too tired to even follow through on that. So drink some water and get some sleep before you create. Okay? That way you're alert while doing it, whether you're streaming or whether you're drawing or whether you're whatever it is, because then you're engaged with it, and you're not constantly having that inward battle. Because the moment, and you guys know this, as soon as you get like sleepy, as soon as you get down, everything starts to look worse. Even if it's good, it starts to look worse because you're tired, which automatically leads to being bummed out. But if you're rested and hydrated, then you're going to feel a lot better about what you're doing and be able to do it more and better. I feel targeted. I know, in the same way, right? So one of the memes when it comes to creators is that they're always exhausted, they're always poor, they always eat crappy, they're living on, coffee, cigarettes, and inspiration. And that's not the effective way to live. If you look at the old school rock and roll, like old school hard rockers, like you look at any hard rock band that still exists that was around in the 70s, they were insane, and they went, drugs, rock, alcohol, women, nothing, going insane. And as they became more successful, as they became more, realized more money was involved, and they realized this is a lot of work. Suddenly all that drugs, alcohol, all the things that were distracting from the creative process, all this stuff started going away. Getting some sleep, getting some hours. Make sure they put it. If you start looking at some of these older hardcore bands, you look at some of these artists that have really been around for a while, like whether it be anything from Taylor Swift all the way on to Rolling Stones, you'll find that when I started out, I was pulling 24 hours and blah 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 blah. And yeah, maybe I do that sometimes when the creative muse strikes. But now I've learned to, drink my water and eat my vitamins and get some sleep because, I just need to do that. Now I exercise and stuff. It's just the way it works. So learn from their lessons and do that, because otherwise your creativity is going to suffer. Next tip, surround yourself with examples of what you create. Put art on the walls, make your phone wallpaper the thing that you're interested in. Background music, and when you're playing background music, make it the thing that you're interested in. If you like video games, play some 8-bit stuff. If you like jazz, play jazz, right? Have that video playing of someone that you want to be like, that inspirational person that you would love to collab with someday, or who's doing the thing you're doing but better. Have them playing on the side. Surround yourself with inspirational things and examples of the stuff you want to create. Buy a mug or some merch from your favorite person, because when you put it on, you're going to feel stronger. You're going to feel more creative. You're going to feel more in tune. This is my creativity sweater. This is my I get stuff done mug because I'm inspired by so and so. Sip. It really does matter. If you sit in a blank area and it's all sterile, or you're like, I'm going to go and I'm only going to do my desk and whatever, you are not going to be nearly as creative as if you have that stuff around you and you're kind of steeped in it. So my suggestion is put some posters on the wall, get some background music, have that video playing in the corner, get some merch from your favorite dude, whatever it is, or your favorite creator, and engage in the tactile process. The next one is on the same kind of deal as water and sleep. Prepare yourself before you create. Okay? One of the ways that you build confidence, or that you lose confidence, is lack of preparation. Is your lack of taking a minute to think through what you're about to do, what's going to be required, whether or not you have what you need, whether or not you have an idea of where you're going to go. Take some time to prepare before you create. If you wait for the muse to strike, if you wait for every single time, I only stream when I feel like it, I only draw when I feel like it, I only draw when, whatever happens, don't do that, because what'll happen is you won't be ready. You won't have the things that you need to do. You won't have the paper. You won't have the art. You won't have the computer program. You won't have the whatever. It's not going to work, and you're going to make a lesser product. So prepare yourself before you create. So I would say take some notes. If you're going to stream, if you're going to whatever, take some notes so that you are ready to go. Make a workspace. Get your workspace ready, whatever it is. Like you have everything clean. You got your pencils, or you got your computer. You got your area that you practice. You got your music set up on a stand. Whatever it is, that workspace is there. Get your materials, right? If you know that every now and again you're going to be like, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to draw something, know where your pencils are. If you're going to sit down and you're going to stream, know where your controller is. Do you have extra batteries? Have you updated your drivers? Do you, just make sure you're ready to go. Do your devos, get a snack, right? So how many times have you been creating and really in the zone and realized you haven't eaten forever? You get up and you're like, wow, I was in the zone. I haven't eaten in 5 hours. You wander off. And then as soon as you start to prepare the meal or try to get something, you just kind of lose it. If you had some peanuts next to you, or you had something that you could like kind of slam down while you're doing it, then you're going to feel a lot better as you do it. Okay. And finally, the last one is remove distractions when creating. Okay, so this is if you want to build confidence in creating, when you're doing it, remove distractions. Set yourself a calendar time when you're going to do it. Tell yourself how long you're going to be doing it for. Take the phone, take it away, and turn it off. Tell people to leave you alone. If you're going to be a writer, you cannot be interrupted every 5 minutes. You cannot have it go ding. You can't have Twitter on. If you're going to be a streamer, you can't have the phone and the ding and all the rest of that stuff happening. If you're going to be an artist of any kind, with any kind of seriousness, or to get it done, you cannot have the distractions of technology and the distractions of the world pulling your attention aside. You got to hit flow. And the only way to hit flow is if you find that space to do it in, which means you tell people, listen, I'm going downstairs to create. Leave me alone for 2 hours. I don't care if the house is on fire. Do not come and get me. I'm going on stream right now, or I'm going to do whatever now. Do not talk to me. I am in the middle of something, I'm going to go write something. Leave me alone. And don't go to Starbucks. Don't be going to Tim Hortons. Don't be going to wherever the heck you think you can go to gain inspiration. You will be distracted. You'll be distracted by the people walking by. You'll be distracted by the thing that you want. You'll be distracted by the drink, and you'll be just, and this idea of this romantical thing where you get to go to Starbucks and be this cool artist person, that's completely fiction. Find yourself a spot, find yourself a time, lock yourself in, and tell people to leave you alone. Get into that creative thing, whatever it is. Hunter Fam says, I really want to do gaming and bookkeeping tax info tips, tricks to help people better understand their business finances and how it impacts their daily lives. That's cool. If you got a skill in that and you have the ability to do that, that is an awesome niche. If you love that, then go for it, man. That's awesome. And quite frankly, it seems to me like that there are so many business finance, like resource management, accounting, SimCity, Sim whatever, games out there that if you could easily tie those things together, right? You could easily go like, today we're going to be talking about blah tips for whatever. I don't know, because I don't do money, but whatever the tip is, and you can go. And then when we're in SimCity, when we're in, the hospital management game or unit, whatever, all that stuff's going to come up. You can be like, yeah, this is why that's in there. And this is why it's important. Remember what we just talked about? It would lend itself really well, because there are people out there who love that resource management stuff, and to be able to bridge that to real life and say, and here's why that matters, and here's a tax tip to go along with that, and here's how to maximize your budget and stuff. Man, that is super valuable. Super valuable. Not gonna lie, says Jones, I'm tempted to stream right now because I'm sitting here playing Stardew Fantasy 14. I mean, again, streaming for no reason, streaming without purpose, streaming without anything other than I want to be live. I don't see a reason to do that. It's the enjoyment you get from the game as you sit there and play it and enjoy it is enough. If you go on stream and you get no viewers and you get no one to come into chat and you're sitting there, then all of a sudden your fun thing that you were doing, you've turned into work and now you feel bad about it, right? Like the idea that you would jump on a stream and be like, I want to engage with society. I want people to see this. I want others to enter into my chat. And I want to have a community, surrounding this. But you haven't done the work and you haven't done the prep and you haven't told anybody you're going to do it and nobody knows you're on. Well, suddenly this fun time has become a failure time. And now you feel bad about it. So I would say if you want to stream, say, I really like this game. I think other people will want it too. I'm going to create a time for me to stream this thing. I'm going to make a little ad about it. I'm going to tell everybody that I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to make a plan as to when I'm going to do it. And I'm going to make a little plan as to what I'm doing that stream. That's what I'm going to do. I want to stream this thing. This sounds cool. I'm going to fantasize about ideas of what I can do during that stream and then make a plan and tell people I'm going to be there. So come on in and, on Saturday at 1 o'clock, I'm off work. I got this cool game. Come check it out. You're going to be a lot more excited about that stream, and a lot more people are going to be more successful if you do it that way. I think messiness, it depends on the messiness. If you're living in squalor and filth, then no, I don't think it inspires. But if you're saying like there's a method to the madness, then yeah, I can understand that. You walk into somebody and like to outside perspective, it looks like it's destroyed, but to the artist, you're like, actually, I know where everything is and I know why it's there. This is just how it works. Totally, I get it. Hey everyone, I just want to make a quick thank you to everyone who's been supporting me through Patreon, coffee, sending directly, serving on the Stream Dream Team, being part of the channel, subs, bits, all that. Thank you so much for being part of the channel, and I really hope that you know how much I care about you guys and how much I appreciate you.